Hello, hello, hello. We have finally made it. Nargis and I are here, and welcome to another episode of Confidence Conversations with me and renowned photographer and brand strategist, Miss Nargis Cross, all the way from London, the UK. Welcome, Nargis.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me.
I want to just share that I was inspired to have these candid conversations because many times when I ask successful women entrepreneurs if they feel confident, many of them hesitate and they still say yes anyways because there's an expectation that successful women, successful leaders should never have struggles with confidence, never have struggles with self-doubt and negative thinking. And today, Nargis and I are going to help squash that belief because as confident women, successful women, we both know that with each level in our evolution, we encounter a new confidence devil. And that confidence devil has the ability, the power to keep us playing small when we were called to play big. Would you agree, Nargis? We just talked about this the other day, right?
Yeah, 100%. There is that expectation, and we do feel like we have to look like we got it all together. But yeah, every level there's a new you have to step up again, and you need a new level of confidence on every growth level, I think.
Exactly, exactly. So today, Nargis and I want to invite you in on the conversation. Share your comments below, share any questions below as we share our journeys with hopes that it will free you up to, get the support that you need to show up more confidently in life and in your business and in your brand. So for those of you that don't know exactly who I am, you're my friend, but you don't know exactly who I am and what I do, my name is Dorothy-Inez, and I'm passionate about helping confident women show up and shine as their most powerful, most powerful and confident selves by breaking through the negative self-talk and the negative thinking so that they can show up and experience the joy, prosperity, and abundance that is their divine birthright. I'm so passionate about helping you do that. So let me tell you a little bit about Miss Nargis here. Nargis, I'm going to read your little bio. Nargis is passionate about helping female entrepreneurs create unstoppable brands. And when she says unstoppable, she means unstoppable brands that help them build their influence, spread their message, and attract high-level clients. Her work has been seen in Vogue, Forbes, Elle, and many other publications. And now she's being seen all around the world with all this travel that she's been doing. Welcome, Nargis, once again to Confidence Conversations.
Hi everyone. Hi ladies. If you're watching this on the replay, like hit us up. Like we want to answer your questions about confidence and growth and all this stuff because it's so important that we have honest conversations about this. Too many of us, as you say, look like we got it all together, but we might not. So
Thank you. Thank you. And, and like Nargis said, if you're on the replay, put hashtag replay, put your questions,
yeah.
tag me and Nargis. We'll be sure to make sure that we answer your questions, address your comments. Hey, Natasha, welcome. So Nargis, tell us, how did you get started in your field of photography and brand strategy? When I met you almost 2 years ago now in London and you took my gorgeous pictures, you were focused at that time just on photography. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I took the long way around, even though it might not look it, but I actually studied photography, advertising, marketing, videography all at university, and I've got a degree as well, but I took 12 years to start my business because I was too afraid to step out. You wouldn't think it now, honestly, but I did. And when I didn't really make that decision intentionally, although it looks it, but I did it. I was pushed into it because I had a son and I didn't want to leave him and go back to work. and I had all this skill and I could always grow businesses because that's what I did in my day job, right?
Right.
But in terms of like, and I think God, there is obviously the intentional side where I do know how to do business and marketing and stuff like that because of my experience. But there's also the God part, which I kind of do need to speak about, which is, he told me if I left my job, he was going to bless me. He told me if I, actually step out, and he was going to bless me and help me. And I'm good at what I do, but I see his hand in everything. So I have to actually say that part. But in terms of like the branding and the strategy side, I decided to kind of like niche in it because I looked at my experience and my background, and I realized that in itself is this best asset, my experience. I just packaged up my experience and my knowledge. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what happened. And that's what people pay me for now, really. And truly, it's not, you don't have to look far to find your treasures, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. This is true. This is true. When I first met you, Nargis, I remember we were with Chenille, and you, first thing I said is, you look like Nicole Scherzinger, from the Pussycat Dolls.
I'll take it.
And you had such a beautiful essence about you. And I said, Nargis, you can be doing more. Nargis, you should be in front of the camera. And you just were like so shy.
I know.
You remember that? So tell us, what happened from, that's almost 2 years ago to now. What caused you to make that shift from the shy girl behind the camera, just taking, you've shared with me, you were struggling getting people to pay you £100 a day, for a day's work, and now you're charging $5K plus for your work. Tell us what happened over the last 2 years since I met that shy girl behind the camera.
Boy, do you know what? I pushed myself. I really, really pushed myself. I did stuff when I was scared. I did stuff when felt uncomfortable. I raised my rates when I was shaking on the phone going, oh my God, are they really going to pay me this? Like, I was playing so small, and I had to come out of that because I practiced even when I wasn't ready, in terms of like to say out loud, hey, I'm the go-to for this. I'm a brand strategist. Even when I didn't feel like it in my own self, I stepped out when I was scared. And I think that's probably what happened. And then what happened was, like, the work we were doing was, I saw how much it was helping my clients. So it's one of those things where I stepped out before I was ready, and then my clients were doing well, and I was doing. It's just like, it just evolved. Really, there isn't like a straight line. It was more like this, even though to the outside world it looks like you just went zoom, but it wasn't. There was nights of me being afraid. There was nights of me saying, "Can I do this?" Like all the questions that most people ask themselves. And I remember when we were at Chenille's event, she said something about how she had a 20K month, and I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. Can anybody really do this? And it's a regular thing now, and I'm like, cool. Like, I think it's, we play too small, and I think I'm still playing small. There's another level, and I think in all of us there's another level. I think we don't believe our own hype. We don't believe our own,
I like how you said we don't believe our own hype. That's good. Tell me, when you said, I was afraid, what were you actually afraid of? What were the conversations that you were having? Because at that time you were still at a level of success, but not where you wanted to be. But you were having some conversations, because I remember that kind of pulled back. You were like, no. What was the conversation going on in your head at that time?
I just was afraid that people would think I didn't know what I was talking about, or I was afraid that, like, I would step out and someone would say no. Like if I raise my rates, or if I actually put together all my knowledge in one package and sold it. Like, I was afraid I was just afraid of, like, just rejection, I suppose. I don't know. Something like that. But that was really it. Or like, what would people think was like a big one. This is why I'm always pushing my clients through that, because it's just a pass through. And in every level you're going to say, what do they think?
And why do you think we care so much about what other people think? Where do you think that comes from?
I just think it's a fear of rejection. I think we don't want to, I don't know, maybe it's some sort of I don't know, I really don't know, but it's to do with rejection for sure. You know, never, I know it doesn't kill anybody, and like we you know, we hear no, it doesn't, it's not gonna hurt you. And that's what I realize now. I just go for stuff now. Like I
Mhm.
really, I literally, I realized when I realized how much I was holding my own self back and I was in my own way, that was like the biggest push for me, I think, because no one else was stopping me, no one was judging me, no one was doing it. It was all in my head.
Right. And I have this post, I don't know if it was something I said, or I don't know, but one of the things that I say, the biggest hater is the one in your head. Is
Yeah.
we can be our own worst
Yeah.
enemy. You know, it's like, who talks to you the most? You talk to you the most. And most often, you talk you out of things. And I see that so often when I'm working with women, is that they're constantly in this phase of self-doubt. And what I found is a lot of times that comes from something that someone in their life that mattered to them, you know, said. You know, you can't do that. You can't be that.
Yeah.
And here we are carrying that childhood stuff into our adult life and allowing that to keep us playing small. One of the things you mentioned, Nargis, was the credit that you give God. This is one of the things that connects you and I, is our connection with the divine, you know, is really giving credit to that. And one of the things I believe is that the more we know who we are and who God says that we are, the more we're able to step into that vision, that call, that purpose. Tell us how your spirituality has played a role in your level of success and your level of confidence that you experience, that it allows you, that when you're feeling scared, when you're having doubt, that you're still stepping out and you're knowing that, man, I'm called, I've hit this level, but I know I'm called to even more. Tell us about how that's plays a role in your life.
Honestly, God and what He's done in my life is everything. Like my whole history is about that. Like I had a kid when I was a teenager. My family of refugees. Like literally, I've never even shared this before, but like what God has been able to do. Like if my dad was still alive, he'll be like, "What?" Like seriously, my life is. I feel like my life is a miracle. The fact that I'm not going to go deep into it, but like God has done everything for me. I got my house where I live in on Christmas Eve. Like God, if you just trust God and what he would tell you. There was a point in my life when I didn't have a place to live. Like literally, you have to have that confidence, because when you see Him show up time and time again, you know He's not going to fail you. You know that you can trust
Right.
in the promises that He's done for you. I'm not super religious, where I'm not like that, but God, like that part of me, I wasn't always a Christian either. He's just kept on showing up in a way where I can't ignore that. When He says He's going to do something, He's going to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly been incredible. Like when He said to me to quit my job, I was shaking when I was like quitting my job.
Right.
And I just trust Him. I just know I know that I know how to do strategy in business, right? But I know that outside of God, it doesn't work. I get burnt out. I get tired.
Mm-hmm.
I lose my confidence. I feel like I can't go for stuff. Opportunities are not, like, even tithing, like, is a huge thing for me as well. I really believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
When I didn't have anything in the bank, I was tithing. So I'm big on this.
Well, and you know, and that's the thing, when you read books, you find that a lot of successful people, they have spiritual practices in place that they believe are a part of their success. Oftentimes we think, oh, what does spirituality have to do with success in business? And it has a lot, like the practice, like you're saying, of tithing, you know, tithing your time, tithing your money, giving, you know, giving back is a principle that's going to help you be successful. And you're saying here, man, even when I didn't have, I still gave, and look at where Nargis is today. So Nargis, I want to ask you too, because you do photography, you do video, and you're, you know, the brand strategy. How is confidence playing a role in those areas of a woman's business? How is confidence playing, you know, a part in how she shows up? How are you seeing that?
It's everything. Confidence is literally like, it's everything. And I don't allow my clients to use it as an excuse. Like if they don't have it, they can borrow mine. Like, I believe in you. I trust that you're going to do well. I just need you to walk forward into your vision. Like, I push them into that. But my like confidence is huge, and it builds with practice as well. So it could be like a technical thing that a person might not know in their business, or it could be like a self-belief thing, or it depends where it's coming from as well. But it's everything, you know. And like, you've got to practice to be confident. You've got to, in my opinion, you've got to like say to yourself in the mirror, I'm flipping amazing. Like, I'm good at what I do. Look for evidence of this stuff in your life, and it will just grow. But it literally is everything. It will affect the way you pitch for stuff, for business. It will affect if you ask for the sale, if you show up online, if how you show up online. It's everything.
So you said something that really stood out for me is about you know, being able to, the confidence will help you, you know, pitch and to be able to stand in front of that mirror and believe in yourself and look for evidence. Look for evidence, because so often many women have evidence, Nargis, that they're not worthy, that they're not enough, that they don't know enough. And what we're not trained to do is look for evidence that we are enough. You know, so when that client gives you that compliment, when you know, reach a goal or an achievement, what are some ways that you look for evidence, Nargis?
So it's interesting. I don't anymore.
But when you were,
look for the validation in my work, because there's a difference between the confidence and the validation, right? Like, I think probably someone needs to tell the difference there. But like, I used to hang on like, okay, if a client books me or they don't book me, it means something about me. It doesn't. I'm a businesswoman, and I'm in business to do a service and provide my clients with a level of expertise and whatever it is that I'm doing for them. And I see it as that now. But like, the confidence part is like, you know, say I had a good month. Yes, I'll celebrate that and things like that. So but I don't, how do I say this in the right way? I don't take my validation from that.
External things is what.
Yeah, it's really, really important, because that will knock you right down, and that will get used. Your own mind will use it like against you, and you know, it will be like, so don't look for validation in that. But my validation comes from like, look, you know, how I'm doing with my family, or am I able, like, how I am as a person. I think it's important, because we can be moody bastards sometimes, honestly. when we focus on our business, like, I'm like, you got to take your focus off it sometimes, and like be human about even your sales and your marketing and everything, you know.
Yeah, and Nargis brings up a really good point. One of the things that I like to teach is the validation piece. Yes, we can look for things externally, but the biggest thing for me is that internal validation, is teaching practices. Like she mentioned, one of my big exercises is the mirror work. And it's looking yourself in the eyes and speaking truth over yourself. A lot of women don't understand that what you say about yourself is the most powerful things you can confess. I am, and that third word, as Pastor Stephen Furtick calls it, that third word that follows the I am is so powerful. You must align yourself with who God says that you are, and really believe, ground those into your spirit, and not look for any validation from other people. If other people give you that, it's great. It's like, you know, gravy. It's like the cherry on top, but that's not where we should be seeking it. Because I know so many women, especially with social media, we're looking for the next like, the next, you know, heart to validate if we're good enough. And that can make us almost want to quit, or quit the very thing that's going to bring us joy, prosperity, prosperity and abundance into our lives. So we've got to know
Yeah.
to look for the validation from within. Nargis, what would you say to women who are secretly struggling with self-doubt and self-sabotage inside? What would you say to them?
Okay, so if it's for the business side, which is the one I suppose I could answer to, like if it's within the business, um, you got to stop putting your whole identity around the business, because it's gonna look how much it will affect you, right? If I think because we work for ourselves as entrepreneurs and stuff, and it's so close to our heart. When someone says no to working with us, it's like a big bloody deal. Like, oh my god, like if you just say this is a business, you need to see you're working for that business. You're not it. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Separate yourself, I think, from that side. It's a service and it's a business that you're providing, and you yourself as a person as something else, right? And I think that distinction helped me, certainly. I don't know, if I'm not a mindset coach, like, that's not my jam, but that's what helped me. And I can only teach like what I know. I separated the two. I provide a service. I am always looking to excel and support and things like that. But if you say no to me, cool. That's cool. Like, if or if if you don't like something, whatever the confidence bits is coming from, or the lack
Right.
of it is coming from, like, I separate that from.
Yeah, don't make it about you.
No, it's not about you. It's about, and I think so many of us now, we're not realizing we're in business. We're doing social media for business. We're doing marketing for business. It's all mixed up, and then we're getting confused while we're waking up feeling bad about 7 likes on a picture.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say to a woman on the personal side, if she's just a regular woman watching this, a mom? What advice would you give her if she's struggling with self-doubt? Because I know a lot of women that I've worked with women who are moms and just doing some personal life coaching. As they become moms, they forget who they are. So what would you say to that woman who's looking to regain her confidence?
Boy, confidence has been such a journey for me. Like, looking back when I was, not in business necessarily, it's like a huge deal. I used to think I wasn't good looking. I used to think I was fat. Like, honestly, I went through it all. But I think what helps is like reading a lot of, obviously God is one thing, but reading a lot, or having that support system, depends how deep you are in it, right? But reading really helped, like, and understanding myself and understanding where it was coming from, and or things like that really, really does help. But you can't like gloss over it. I think you have to dive deep and do the work for like permanent change to happen. Because, like, as you say, like, how did you go from this to this? Well, I had to work on it. I had to work on it, and you can't let yourself off the hook, because if you feel that way, it's going to affect lots of your marriage or everything, how you deal with your children, everything. So
right, and you pass that on to your children. I was telling my one of my clients recently. She has a daughter, and she came to me for confidence, and she and I invited her to include her daughter on some of the work that we were doing, so her daughter, number one, could see that it's okay that to admit that you're struggling in this area. And the key was to go out and get the help, to not be afraid to ask for help like she did. So doing like the dream board, doing some of some of the exercises that I had her do, she was also including, her daughter. So I think it's important, like you said, to read books, get the support that you need, but you have to do the work. You can't let yourself off the hook, because it's some kind of way it's going to show up in a relationship, in a business, in a job. Somewhere it's going to impact you. Nargis, one of the reasons I wanted to get you in today was because I want women that live in the LA area or on the West Coast, wherever they are, because they can fly into LA, to get an opportunity to work with you, because you're going to be in the LA area the last week of May. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I only have one spot left now, and that's on the 25th of May.
and work with her. She's very awesome. Like I said, I had the opportunity to work with her. She gave me some great images. So glad to have Nargis on with us today. And what I want to say is, for those of you that are struggling with the next iteration of yourself, if you're ready to elevate and up-level your business, I want to invite you to join me, by just giving me a call, reaching out to me on my website at Dorothy-Inez.com, Dorothy-Inez.com/book-me. And then that way you can get on a call with me for free. You can apply to get on a call with me for free, and you can see some testimonials from amazing women that have worked with me. Let's have a conversation to get you to the next level of you. And I want to thank Nargis for being on here today to share her journey from going from 100 pounds to making 20K plus a month by really stepping into her confidence and owning who she is and the work that God has called her to do. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.